Buying versus renting is one of the most important financial decisions that you will ever make. And it's a question that I'm asked often. Should I buy now or should I wait? There are many factors that go into making that decision, and most of it boils down to affordability. So let's go over some of those now. Look at some of the data in the Phoenix housing market that will help you make a better decision. Let's first take a look at what our interest rates are doing. Now, they hit their peak back in October at a little over 7%, and then they started dropping. And since January, we really began seeing our interest rates drop, until recently. And over the past few weeks, our interest rates have begun to climb again. Now, I have to say that I am a little surprised to see how much higher the interest rates have gotten over these past few weeks. I knew we were going to be in for a bumpy ride with our interest rates, but I will be honest, I did not think that we would see interest rates as close to 7% as we are right now. All of this to say that interest rates have a very big impact on people buying versus renting because of how substantially that affects their overall monthly payment. So just how much did the interest rate impact the payment? It's pretty surprising. In fact, interest rate actually has a bigger impact on your overall home payment than the actual home price. So even as home prices go down, if interest rates stay up, then your payment's going to stay up. And I want to show you this chart as an example. So these green bars on the chart show you price point, and we peaked at $480,000 in the Phoenix market as the top home price. And you can see that in the peak in the green bars on the chart. That red line shows you what your mortgage payment would be as the interest rates have changed. So as you'll notice on this chart, even though that green bar graph is going down, that red line kind of jumps around a little bit towards the end of that graph. That is because our interest rates jumped around. So even as our price points are coming down, as interest rates jump around, that affects your overall monthly payment. So as the home prices come down, interest rates go up, that affects your overall monthly payment. So even though the home price is lower, your mortgage payment might be more. So currently we are sitting in the high sixes for our interest rates. But for the past 2 years, we've had interest rates in the threes. So sixes and high sixes seem really, really high. But to put it into perspective, historically, when we look at how long interest rates have been tracked, which was 1971 to now, the historical norm for interest rates is 7.75%. So next, let's take a look at what our home prices have been doing. So as you can see from this chart, our prices did peak in May, like we were just talking about, at $480,000. So from our peak pricing to now, which is the median price point in February of 2023, so from peak at May 2022 to February 2023, we have seen about a 14% decrease in the overall prices of homes. And many feel that this is going to continue going down. The big question right now is by how much? This is really driven by supply and demand, which neither in our market currently is overplaying one or the other. So time is going to tell on this one. Now, a positive thing for buyers that are out there looking is that more homes are on the market right now. So buyers actually have more things to choose from. And to help put things into perspective, I had a client that was coming in town last year around the same time looking for a second home. They sent me 5 homes that they wanted to look at about a day or two before they were going to get here. By the time they got here for me to schedule those tours, we had 1 to look at. We did the same thing this year. We had about 6 homes to look at, and we had 5 still to look at that were available when they got here. So buyers, you actually do have more to look at than you did the last few years. Another positive thing for buyers right now is that sellers are willing to negotiate. Gone are the days where buyers had to waive everything from inspections to appraisals and everything in between. Now, buyers can negotiate on price as well as terms, which can include seller concessions, which is exactly the chart that I'm showing you right here. This shows you what our average seller concessions look like over the past few years. We were sitting around 39%. We might jump up a little bit more, come down a little bit, 35%, but we were right around there. Then these are when we had our crazy times. They dropped all the way down 10%. And just last April, we were at about 12%. And then we started to see those seller concessions start to shoot up. We've seen our peak at 49% of the contracts written in the Phoenix market. 48% of those contracts had a seller concession. And what this is showing is that the median concession asked or the median concession given was $97,000. What are these being used for? These are being used for rate buy downs for the buyers so that these rates can be bought down and the homes can be more affordable. Now, we don't anticipate that these are going to change much. We might again bounce around, but we were at 48% on 1 month, and now in February right now, we're at 48% as well, but we're not done with the month. So as our interest rates stay high, I would say, even above 6%, that we are going to see a number of seller concessions offered to the buyers so that they make these homes more affordable. And what that does is it really just makes that payment more affordable. Now, something to note when we start talking about rate buydowns is that the buyer who is utilizing a rate buydown does still have to be able to qualify for that mortgage at the going rate of the interest rate, but utilizing that rate buydown is going to allow that buyer to make a big savings over the first 2 years of that loan. Now, the rate buydown is something that new home construction is using a lot. They've also been lowering their prices. These two things coupled together can really help that buyer looking at new construction utilize these tools and get a payment that they are much happier with. I really think that one of the biggest fears right now is people will be buying at the top and then see their home prices decline. But as I've said in many of my other videos, real estate is not a short-term hold. It is a long-term hold. So if you are planning on owning your home for a longer time period than 5, 7, 10 years, then buying is not always the wrong option for you, even as interest rates go up. Now, something else we've talked about on my channel is that I am not one that believes we are going to see a housing crash, unless we see massive job loss, which is something else that I do not believe we're going to see. All of this to say that you should have stable, consistent income before you buy a home. And that is no matter what market you're in. But if all these things don't say to you that you should buy a home, then renting is going to be a good option for you as well. Now, if you like this video, make sure you take a look at this one. If I can ever answer any questions for you, please feel free to reach out. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.